Magic Johnson, very famously, and you were there at Staples Center when he resigned his position, unbeknownst to a lot of the power brokers in Los Angeles. What changes from last summer to this summer with Magic out?
Well, I mean, frankly, you lose that closer. I mean, there were a lot of things that Magic brought to the table that maybe weren't positive in terms of, hubris or a lack of accountability or just being in the office. I mean, something we've heard a lot about him. But one thing you can't argue is that in terms of charisma and being able to kind of sell the Lakers' dream, nobody was ever better at that than Magic Johnson. And so him not being in the picture, presumably, I cannot imagine that he will be involved in any recruiting.
Does he know
official,
that?
He's out there. He's trying, but you lose kind of that person who can really kind of sell the mystique of the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, to some degree, sell themselves, and you have Jeannie Buss, who is a great ambassador for the Lakers as well. But I think what the Lakers are trying to sell this summer is stability and credibility, that the wild card of Magic is no longer here. You have Rob Pelinka, who is a savvy former agent, would be their pitch. You have Kurt Rambis, who has 4 decades of experience in the NBA, and you have a great tradition. Come be a part of it. But we don't know how free agents look at the Lakers. LeBron is the only guy over the last 6 years who said yes to this. And he came when it was a completely blank slate, and they have changed almost everything since he got here to fit his timeline, to reflect his where he is in his career. And that, was a big adjustment for the Lakers. And so does a guy like Kemba Walker want to be a part of that? Does Jimmy Butler want to be a part of that? We just don't know yet. And that's what's, I think, the most interesting thing about this free agency period is how appealing are the Lakers now that they have this two-headed monster.
Do the Lakers want Magic's help at this point? You wrote a column where he spoke with you and he talked a little bit about D'Angelo Russell potentially returning, how much more mature he is, how much better he is. Also, the simple fact that none of the players who were in the locker room with D'Angelo first go around are still there, which I thought was an interesting detail because we always suspected that what went on with him and Nick Young was factored in, but I never at least saw it in black and white. If you're the Lakers and you're Jeannie Buss and you're Rob Pelinka, he's Magic Johnson, but do you want him out there campaigning and politicking on the Lakers' behalf?
I don't think so, because it adds to this idea that there's a dysfunction with the Lakers, because Magic was calling the shots, but now he's not calling the shots, but he's still out there saying what the Lakers should do. It leads to questions about who's in charge in LA. There's already that question. Is it Kurt Rambis? Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it Rob Pelinka? But if you still have Magic, in the peanut gallery, it just adds to this confusion around the organization. I think you want to be lockstep, everybody rowing in the same direction, one vision. And Magic might very well be, sharing company secrets here with the D'Angelo Russell plan or some of the other free agents he mentioned to me. But if you're the Lakers, you don't want him to be the person who is putting a face on the direction of the franchise. He gave back that baton. He passed on the opportunity to be that person for the organization.
If I were Jeannie Buss, I'd say, here's $100,000. Get on a cruise for a couple of weeks. Let this window of free agency open up. Magic, do us all a favor. log off Twitter for a little while. I mean, again, and it feels weird saying that because
I'll go
Magic,
away for $100,000.
A lot of us would. I don't know that Magic would, though. I mean, Magic turned down this opportunity just so he could return to being Magic Johnson, in his words. But I keep thinking to myself, he's Magic Johnson. He's one of the most important, maybe the most important player in franchise history. Yet if you're Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, you have to cringe when you know that he's set up to do an interview or that he's speaking to Bill Oram of The Athletic, because you just don't know what he's going to say and how it's going to be interpreted, especially after he went pretty hard after Rob Pelinka and some of the stuff he said. I mean, I'd say, hey, Magic, here's an all-expense-paid cruise. Go to Europe for a couple of weeks, come back, let us figure this out.
I mean, he's going to do that. That is his annual summer routine is sailing around the Mediterranean off the coast of Italy. So he will be there. I don't think Jeannie needs to pay for it. But you're right. I mean, obviously, he is the unpredictability was always one of the issues with Magic. You go back to last summer, entering the free agency period, they had their draft, and he steps up and says, we're going to get this done. Well, why? Because I'm Magic Johnson. How are you going to do it? No answers. But then he says, if I don't do it, if I don't get a superstar in here, I will resign. And it's that sort of braggadocio, or whatever you want to call it, that I think made people question whether the Lakers were truly stable and doing things the right way and for the right reason. And so if you kind of remove that that mindset, that mentality, that behavior, you do have the opportunity to shape yourself as a more credible organization, which is obviously something the Lakers are trying to do. And we saw this even last week. The Lakers were granted permission to speak to Ron Adams, the assistant in Golden State. Now, okay, how important are assistant coaches? Is that really as important as a max free agent? I mean, of course not. But the Lakers have spent so much time hiring out of their own past, or Jeannie Buss, leaning so closely on her, closest friends. It was actually encouraging to see them make a move to try to go get somebody who is widely regarded as the most respected assistant in the NBA. They probably aren't going to get him, but to at least make that effort is a really encouraging sign about the way they're thinking now. I don't know if that would have happened when Magic was still here.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download The Rich Eisen Show app.